Hi there.
Hello.
I'm Jack Higgins.
I'm Nathan Herat.
And you're listening to episode 26 of Duck Size Horses, the comedy podcast that answers the questions, somewhat answers the questions you've hopefully always wanted answered. I'm not quite sure if that applies to...
Probably not this question.
No, it's a bit out there, a bit avant-garde.
A bit, yeah.
Thank you so much for whoever sent it
Yeah,
in.
we can't remember who it was.
Disaster struck and we've lost the name of the person who sent it in. So if this is your question later in the episode, you'll find that out.
Yeah.
Get in touch and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort your life out as well, because it's a ridiculous question.
It is absolutely
But
terrible.
thank you for sending it in.
Get in touch, and thank you for getting in touch in the first place, and apologies that we've lost your name.
Yes.
And thank you for everybody else for getting in touch.
Absolutely.
And getting involved with answering this month's question.
Ridiculous as it is.
And for all of your input so far.
Yes.
So shall we crack on?
Yes, but before we do, just a last bit of admin, Higgins. The scores, they are currently Jack Higgins 11, Nathan Herat 14.
Running away with it.
So yeah, I've got a little bit of a lead.
I need to pull one back,
which I'm pretty confident will be eaten into this evening.
It says it's been a real tricky one.
Yes, I have struggled with this one, I think.
So right, let's have the question then. Are you on question?
I am on question.
We spoke about.
We've
this
literally
like
just
3 times.
discussed it.
Do you know what it was?
Go on, mate.
It's the biscuits and the
I think
cakes
it was,
that have thrown me off. So, long-time listeners will know that quite a few episodes back, I dropped in a little cake-related
name drop
fact from a certain Mr. Kipling.
Yeah.
That they used to do fruit salad Battenbergs.
You did.
And they were incredible. They were like pineapple and raspberry or whatever fruit salad kind of flavour. It is pineapple and raspberry.
It's pineapple and raspberry. I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And they were delicious. A whole pack gone in one sitting kind of job. Still haven't managed to find them. I think they were obviously a limited edition. But now they've just brought out some
do you want me to pass you the box?
Apple flavoured ones. They've got like a rolled out thing on it. So fantastic Mr. Fox's mini apple bats.
Yes.
They're quite good.
They were alright, yeah.
Alright, very very sugary. Like
the
sort of sweetness hits you as soon as you take the wrapper off.
Yeah.
But very very nice.
And I've got to be honest, nice as they were, fluorescent pink isn't my first thought of apple flavoured products. The colour is slightly off-putting.
Good grief, yeah. But yeah, so thank you for getting in touch, Mr. Kipling.
Yes, thank you for the free box of these cakes.
It definitely wasn't free, but we'll say it was. Courtesy of Tesco Superstore. And my debit card.
Thank you to your debit card.
So yeah, those are all right. But if you're listening, Mr. Kipling, we're going to need those fruit salad ones back ASAP.
Yes, please.
Speaking of fruit salad, I think this is what's kind of thrown us off. And we'll get back to the question
we
in
will.
a minute.
Sorry, that was the duck.
But we've got in last month's episode, we mentioned about some rhubarb and custard creams.
We did.
Which taste nothing.
They don't taste at all like rhubarb and custard.
And dipping them in tea only makes them taste weirder but wetter. And those taste like fruit salads.
Yeah.
Which is a bit...
Maybe if you combine the two, you might recreate the fruit salad Battenberg.
Yeah. So we're gonna eat all of them.
Yeah.
And then feel very sorry for ourselves.
Exactly. If one of us is at any point violently sick during this recording, you will understand why that's taking place.
Definitely. Anyway, let's get on with the
less
question.
Of the ridiculous, more of the sensible. Here's the question for episode 26. And then we'll go to the polls after this before we hear Jack and mine's answer. It's, would you rather have the top half fish and bottom half human, or top half human, bottom half fish?
So it's kind of like a mermaid or a merman.
Merman, mermaid.
Merperson.
Mer people.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yep. That is my understanding.
The polls have gone On Twitter, we've got 75% would rather be a mermaid, like the one you'd see in the Little Mermaid film, and so quite a large victory there. And on Facebook, it's currently about the same at the moment. Yeah,
Wow,
it's 75%.
superb.
So thank you for everybody getting involved with those polls.
Yes.
So thanks to Izzy, Meg, and Chris, and Dan and Matt, and just everybody for getting in touch.
Yes, thank you.
So that leaves us on to
It does.
me to answer.
Shall I ask you the question again, Higgins?
Hit me with it.
I won't hit you with it, but I'll ask you it. Would you rather have the top half fish and bottom half human, or top half human and bottom half fish? Off you go, mate.
I'm gonna go for, and this may surprise you, may trip me up, but I've been trying hard to think of good reasons, so hopefully
I'm sure you've done a
it will
wonderful
swing it.
job.
I'm gonna go for reverse
Right.
mermaid.
Okay.
So I'm going for
So top half fish.
top half fish, bottom half.
Wow. I'm surprised.
So reasons being
Yes.
is you could still go places, and
True.
you could still walk around, and you could still sort of like get up. You could still take part in activities to a certain degree. I feel like if you had a fish bottom half, you're kind of limited with how you'd get about.
That's very true, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you'd be an absolute sensation
You would.
in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, or smaller,
Yeah.
or even in the sea.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you know, normal everyday things like going to the shop and getting made fun of by kids for your ridiculous fish head,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
There's things like sports you might not be able to participate in if you had just a bottom half of a fish. You wouldn't be able to play like football or.
Yeah, but is that not true if you've got the top half of fish as well, though?
Well, no, I could still sort of see that. At least you can kind of like jump and. It depends on what type
That was
of
a great mime. I really enjoyed that.
Depends what type of fish head you've got. So
that's true. What brand? That's the wrong
what
phrase.
brand?
What type of fish would you want? Would you get to choose your fish head, or would you just be given?
If I could choose, I think I'd choose like a hammerhead shark kind of
Nice.
kind of head.
Yeah.
So, I think it'd be a little bit awkward going into like some doors and things, but it'd be sort of fairly useful for sort of keeping a lookout on things as well. So you can kind of sort of like see all around
From
you.
all angles. Yeah.
But yeah, I obviously you wouldn't have arms as well,
No.
so that could sort of like slow you up. But I thought about this is if you had kind of like a hammerhead kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the biggest thing, if you didn't have arms, you wouldn't be able to carry anything. So if you went to the shops, you wouldn't be able to carry your bags.
True.
If you had a hammerhead, you just get the shopping assistant to hang it off the bars on your head.
But I mean, good point. But fish can't speak, so how would you communicate?
Very good question. I'd have to sort of like
Checkmate.
No. Take that point back off your
virtual
paper. You'd have to communicate in a different way.
Yeah.
You'd have to sort of like either sort of like tap your feet out like in a Morse code type thing. Or would I lose my ability to talk if I had the...
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I assumed that your head would be removed and then replaced with literally a fish's head.
But no, it's what? So it would just literally be head. The rest
Well,
of
no,
it would be all
obviously
human.
top half is fish, isn't it? So it would be flippers and all.
Yeah.
And gills and stuff.
I wouldn't have to worry so much about like my own body image.
Well,
so obviously if everyone was like, hey, you know, get yourself a 6-pack, go pump some iron, get nice and big and strong. You can't. You're
a fish.
Yeah, you're just fish man.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does come with its own pitfalls. People will point and laugh.
Yeah.
But
also, I imagine breathing is a pitfall because you would be out of water, wouldn't you?
Oh.
You'd have to keep yourself constantly hydrated in some way or another.
Yeah, would I have to like just keep my top half fully submerged?
In a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I might have got this wrong then.
I think you might have done, yeah. You might have fallen into one of my traps.
Let's say respiratory system and vocal abilities are all still there. So
Okay.
I still sound like me.
So
I
you
still
sound like
breathe me.
you. But
With
you
a
just
very
look at them.
peculiar odour. I'm sort of wet and slimy. But for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. What about when you're a fish?
What if I... Ah. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
I'm sorry, mate.
Cheers. So yeah, that's
okay.
that's my and those are the best reasons
that you could come up with.
I mean, I think we were saying beforehand when we were chatting about the question and how difficult it was. I think you put it perfectly. It was like, it's kind of a weird one because you don't really want to choose either way.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I really struggled because, like I said to you, I really kind of really didn't know what to choose, and kind of B didn't really care which I chose, which makes it like slight issue. But I have chosen. Would you like to hear what I've chosen?
Let's hear it. What are your reasons?
So I've gone for top half human, bottom half fish, just because I feel like if you were to go with your choice, so the sort of top half fish, bottom half human, I feel like your normal life would have to change quite a lot to accommodate that change. Whereas I feel like if you're top half human, bottom half fish, you can almost maintain a pretty normal life to what I would normally do. So I could still go to work, I could still do my job. I suppose again we're on the
you'd have to get
situation of whether I need to sit in a tank whilst I was doing it.
Yeah,
below the waist sort of thing. Or
wasn't there like a really old film with Cher where she's a mermaid
possibly,
and she's got to sit in a bath all day?
Yeah, I suppose that would be a slight inconvenience, wouldn't it? Really, but I still feel like I could lead a normal life.
Guess people work from home.
Yeah,
you never know what they're up to at home.
True.
You could do lots of Skype meetings, I guess, as well. So like, that's one of the sort of things. Apparently, if you work at home, you can have like a meeting over Skype, and in your top half, you've just got like a suit on, but in your bottom half, you've still just sat on
or something. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'll be honest, that was pretty much all I was thinking. Really, that it wouldn't affect my life too much.
Okay, but how would you go to the loo? Sorry to be so crude.
I mean, it's possible. I'm assuming fish go to the loo.
Yeah, but you leave that kind of... Have you ever seen a fish go to poo? It's kind of like a weird kind of like
I'll be
stringy...
honest, mate, I found many better things to do with my time.
Oh, it's just me then.
Yeah.
Okay. No, they leave
Is
like
it like a snail trail?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a weird kind of like... Again, not to be crude, but like almost like a little log. Like, well, I say a log. Like
you have far too much time in your hands.
No, like my grandma used to have like some fish in a tank, and
yeah,
you'd see them. It would be, oh, what's that hanging off a boat? It's just a fish going to the toilet.
Yeah. Do fish, and I didn't realise you were such an expert in this area. But when
I wouldn't call it that at all.
When fish go to the loo, do they stop?
How do you mean? Oh, do they stop swimming?
Do they just carry on?
Yeah, no, just carry on. Yeah,
that would be quite convenient, I suppose, because then you wouldn't have to take time out of your working day.
Yeah, but then people would be sort of like following you around, and it'd be a little bit
be
weird and all over the place.
So fish loos.
So going
to the loo would be an issue.
But also, if we had to stay in a tank, it would require someone to clean said tank.
That's very true.
And I can't imagine any of our sort of close friends or family kind of chipping in, because it's a hassle cleaning a fish tank.
I've never done it.
I've
never owned a fish, so I've never.
I mean, it's all right, but it's just a bit wet and cumbersome. Or obviously because
it's fish, yeah. What do you do with the fish when you take them out there? Or do you clean it? You don't clean it with them in there, surely.
Depends on the size of the tank. Some you can kind of just leave in there, and you sort of pump a bit of water out, and then pump a bit back in. You've kind of like, there's like loads of weird gadgets you can get to sort of like siphon the water out to keep it in. When we were younger, we had quite a sort of a small like small bowl,
Yeah.
and we had to sort of put the fish in like a washing up bowl, and then
Nice.
put them back in
Yeah.
afterwards. Obviously with water in it, we're
Yeah.
just getting them out and chucking them with knives and forks. Yeah.
Dishwasher.
Yeah.
Put fish in. I suppose another point is, if you are not sort of, for me, keeping my fish waste,
Okay.
and I don't mean fish waste as in the waste of a fish, I mean like my waste is a fish.
Right.
Stay with me. If you're not in a tank and it's a hot day, you'd bake.
It's very true.
And that would be a real hindrance, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a point for both of us, really.
That
because,
is, yeah.
we-
We'd both bake at some point.
Yeah, I think you get like a little bit more sort of grossed out with maybe the top half if that was baking.
That's
Although,
true, yeah.
but people do use that for like stock stuff.
Yeah, but... I mean,
Or would I want to be used
would you want
as
to be
stock?
used as stock?
No, would you?
No, it's not a question I've thought about, but I mean, if you rang me up and said, "Can you just pop over? I need some fish stock," I wouldn't be thrilled, really.
No. What would you wear on your bottom half then if you?
What if I'm not a fish on my bottom half? Oh no, I am a fish on my bottom half, aren't
Yeah. Would you have to wear like a custom kind of like trouser
I?
with just
Well,
one
yeah,
leg?
I suppose if I'm going
Or
to
like-
work, I would.
Or
Yeah.
like a kind of skirt or like a kilt or
I mean, skirt's brave, isn't it?
yeah.
I probably would have to go for work, custom trouser.
I mean, I guess if it's just one fin, it is a skirt anyway because it's
Yeah,
just one. It's
that's
just like
true.
a long thing.
Unless you can kind of like taper a trouser to look like you've got two legs when you've really got a fin or a tail.
How would you attempt a shoe?
I mean, I suppose technically I would. Again, if I'm at work, I try and look as smart as possible. I can almost hear all my colleagues denying that statement. At this point,
I
but-
think what would you do as work? Just like what you do now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you wouldn't sort of like think
I wouldn't
about
change my job,
changing
no.
careers. Like you wouldn't go for the.
No, that would-
wouldn't try to be like an Olympic swimmer or a diver or.
No, because I think, and that's the point I didn't actually mention. I think I could still do the job I do now, being a teaching assistant, because not a lot of me would have changed. Like, with the greatest will in the world, I almost don't think the kids would notice. Like, because they don't really.
Oh, Sarah's just got
Well, because a lot of the time I'm sitting down.
oh yeah.
Well, not a lot of the time, because that makes it sound like I'm not working, but you know what I mean. Majority of the time is at desks and such. So they would, very much like the Skype meeting, they only see my top half
Very true. Okay.
anyway. Whereas if it's the reverse, I mean, they're instantly going to spot, hang on, something's up with Nathan. He's looking something's a bit fishy.
I've been waiting for that. I was wondering which one of us is going to drop it first.
Yeah, so I think they'd notice that.
Yeah,
They'd probably prefer it, but they'd still
very
notice.
good point. Yeah, no, you make a good point. I don't think I'd be able to do my job. Like,
No, because your job requires genuine skill and computer work and such. And if you've got fins, that's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I wouldn't be able to put a pair of headphones on.
No,
Oh yeah, yeah, I might have shot myself
you
in
may
the
have
foot.
shot yourself or in the fin.
In the fin, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, no, I've shot myself in the foot. I've still got
You
feet.
have shot yourself in the foot.
Oh,
It's a difficult
yeah,
one.
no,
isn't
it's tricky. Yeah. Oh, I think I might have stumped myself as soon as that came out of
Yeah.
my mouth. Oh, I'm a pillock.
The perfect scenario
Or
would be
pollock.
like a temporary thing. So like for certain hours, almost like a fast. So like for certain hours of the day, either your top half or your bottom half becomes a fish, and then at a certain point in the day, it switches back to normal just for a short period.
Yeah.
So if it was like almost like a Beauty and the Beast type thing, so that during working hours we're perfectly normal, and then come like 5 p.m, all of a sudden you morph into some fish type
that would
thing.
definitely be preferable.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the.
That's not the question, is it?
No, no.
I enjoyed that though. Anyway, that tangent.
Yeah, no. Good for you. It is tricky.
It's tricky. It's really difficult, isn't it?
I don't know. You make some good points about just being able to carry on,
Yeah.
and I guess my points are kind of muted as well because I said you couldn't play sport, but you could play basketball, you could play snooker, you could,
Yeah.
anything that involves your
Upper
hands.
body. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And you could still play football. You'd just be in goal.
Yeah, true. Oh, I've mugged myself off
I
here.
think, yeah.
I think it might be an extra point.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
You going for it?
Yeah. No.
You sure I'm about to write it in, mate?
Take that point away. Oh dear, it's all gone. It's all gone
Right.
terribly, terribly wrong.
So that's 15 points for me, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to do some serious work in the
You
next
are,
few
yeah.
to bring it back.
Bit of a lead.
Yeah. So that's our question.
That is the question.
Try not to send any weird ones
No,
like that in again.
That was quite a... We
that was
got
odd.
through it, wasn't it?
Sort yourselves out.
It was a bit of a battle.
Have a word. But speaking of questions,
Yeah.
you can send them in. We're on the hunt as always
We
for
are.
brand new questions, and there's a new exciting way in which you can do it now. So if you pop on to the description of wherever you're listening, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or wherever it may be, pop onto the description and there'll be a little link in there, and you can leave us a voice message with your question on it.
Yeah.
And if it gets picked, we'll play it out on next month's episode.
Yes.
Or you can get in touch in the traditional way.
Yes.
And go to our Facebook, Twitter, or our website, which are as follows.
I shall read them out for you now. You can contact us on Twitter at DSH Podcast. Our Facebook page is Duck-Sized Horses, or you can email us at ducksizedhorsespodcast@gmail.com. As Jack says, that's to send in your questions, but also to get involved in our competition. We have had... I don't think we've had any entrants.
No, we've had a bit of a lull in entries.
We've signed a duck. We have signed a duck for
someone.
A reason that we aren't entirely sure.
Yeah.
And a person who we're not sure. It was to do with the question, wasn't it?
It was.
Because if, as well as the competition, which Jack will tell you about in a minute, if we pick your question or it's spat out of the spreadsheet of wonder, we will send you a signed rubber duck. And who's it signed by, Jack?
Signed by me.
And me. Lovely stuff. So we have signed one for a person who is yet to be...
So yeah, come forward. If you were the person who asked the weird fish question, if you are the fishy person,
yes, there is a duck for you,
ready and waiting.
But if you want to win a duck of your own,
it could go in the bath. If you've got to sit in the bath, if you've got like a bottom half of a fish,
there you go.
Sitting there with your rubber duck.
Purposeful, useful, in fact.
Yeah.
But yes, if you want to win a rubber duck, Jack, how can people do that, and what do they have to do?
You can do so by sending us in a photo of a duck or a horse, or a video of a duck or a horse, or a joke of a duck or a horse.
Yes.
A poem.
Yes.
A flower arrangement.
Yes.
Anything duck or horse related. Send it in and we'll pop it up on our website. If you have a little look on there at the moment, you can sort of see some inspiration from previous winners.
Yep.
And again, it's always lovely to hear from you.
It is. It really is.
If you'd like to leave us a voice message that's not a question as well, we'll send you out a duck if you leave us one of those as well. Yep. So that's just in the description on your preferred podcast listening platform for the episode. And we look forward to hearing from you.
We will.
I think until next time,
yes,
we're going to go and try and find a tank or a swimming pool big enough.
I think that is the plan.
Yeah.
Superb.
Splish splosh.
This podcast is part of Britpod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or Britpod Scene on Twitter to find out more.